Hey guys, it's Melanie. Happy Wednesday. I'm coming at you on a beautiful sunny day, which means there is sunshine galore flowing into the windows here. There are some lovely changes coming, hopefully within the next 2 weeks, cross your fingers, that will make the lighting much improved. So yeah, I'm excited about that. But it's tutorial time. So throughout 2020, I promised to at least once a month do one of my perfect neutral eye tutorials. If you've watched these videos before, you know that the look that I end up with is usually very similar to last month's look, because here's the thing, I kind of have a look that I like, and I feel like most people do. And they just like using different products to achieve a look that they think is flattering for them and their features and their coloring and all that jazz. So yes, this is probably going to look like every other perfect neutral eye tutorial, but we're doing it with kind of an old palette today. And I chose this one specifically for a couple reasons. One, it was requested by a couple of people, and two, who doesn't have the Tartelette palette? This is the original Tartelette palette. I also had the Tartelette in Bloom. However, the color story of that particular palette just didn't work as well with my gray hair, which, by the way, is just freshly blow dried and a little bit insane right now. She'll calm down. She's actually going to go up in a pony after this. But yeah, a lot of people have this palette probably still. The Tartelette in Bloom, like I said, wasn't really a color story that I loved. However, this is beautiful. This palette is one that actually has survived multiple declutters. If you've been with me, you know that over the last couple of years, I have decluttered probably over half of my eyeshadow collection, a significant amount. And this one has made it through every single declutter very easily. I don't see myself getting rid of this one. A lot of my other Tarte palettes have definitely gone away. But this one I think is, it has great pigmentation. I feel like the colors are very neutral and are just very easy to work with. And they stay put. They stay put on my eyes. I think as long as you find an eyeshadow formula that makes you happy, then you keep the palette around. And this one has stuck around. So today's look is going to be mostly within this middle row here. As you can see, it's mauves and plums, because that's my thing, guys. I have always been drawn to purples and plums and mauves. Slightly cooler tones are definitely preferred for me, just because I think it works best with my coloring. I think it works best with my hair, and I like the way that it looks with my eye color as well. My eyes are green. A lot of people think that they're blue. They are green. They were blue when I was younger, but for whatever reason, when I was in middle school and high school, they slowly kind of started transitioning to green. I'm not hating on it. I love the green eyes. My daughter has these big, beautiful blue eyes, so I'm kind of curious to see if hers will also change. But yeah, anyway, so I obviously have the rest of my makeup done. Whatever is on the rest of my face, I'm going to list and link down below in the description box. So if you'd like to know what is on my eyebrows, which is, by the way, mostly a tattoo. My eyebrows are micro shaded. I've been getting a lot of comments lately about my brows. Yeah, they're like permanently on my face, and I love them. Some people hate my eyebrows. It always cracks me up. It's like, they're not on your face. What do you have to hate? But yeah, so I do cover them up with just a little bit of powder, because when I put my SPF on, it mutes them out, yada, yada. You guys have heard this spiel. But anyway, everything else will be listed down below. I will also try to remember to link my latest powder foundation tutorial, because that's what I use. I am the powder foundation girl. It's my thing. Also, on my eye already, this one here is the Viseart Seamless Eye Primer. Fantastic. Little tip for those of you that have sensitive eyes and you're constantly dealing with watery eyes. look at your eye primer. There was a long stretch of time where I was dealing with the worst watery eyes, and once I realized it was my eye primer that was the issue, it stopped. It was a miracle. So the two eye primers that I have found to work the best are definitely this Viseart one, which is very, very nice. I don't personally purchase from Too Faced really anymore. I don't really support the brand, but the Too Faced Shadow Insurance always worked really well for me also. So, but anyway, this one is probably going to be my go-to going forward. Eye primers are a must, I feel like, for everyone, but especially for those with oily eyes. Oily eyelids. Usually the eyes aren't actually oily, thank God. But if you deal with creasing, you need an eye primer. And a concealer is not an eye primer. Maybe if you have really, really dry lids, yes, have at it with a concealer. But most people, I feel like using a concealer just is going to lead to creasing. I don't think it's the best option. That's just my personal opinion. Anyway, so we're gonna get into it, guys. We are doing this look over here. I would consider this a very, very natural mauve smoky eye, like barely smoky, but a little bit of intensity for daytime. So the first thing I'm going to start with is I'm actually taking the shade Free Spirit from the, I guess if you're looking at it like this, it would be the top row. And I'm taking a fluffy brush. This little friend of mine has been with me since before Stella was born. I bought it at Target. It's a Sonia Kashuk brush, but just find something fluffy and get the, for me, this is skin toned, but if you have any amount of coloring in your face, and I feel like most people have more coloring than I do, you might want to pick a different color that works better with your skin tone. But the idea here, oh, hi, Lisa. The idea is to just set that primer so that it makes blending easier. So I'm just gonna make sure that I have that primer all set. And then I'm going to take a, this is the Luxe Soft Definer brush from Zoeva, but I mean really any type of blending brush. And then I'm going to go into a mix of Natural Beauty and Best Friend, which are these two shades right here. If you wanted something slightly warmer or something a little more neutral, warmer, I would say do the same with this row. If you want something more neutral, do this row. If you want that more mauve-y, cool-toned look, go with this row. All right, so just literally going back and forth between the two and loading up my brush, and then, this is a little difficult to do, but I like to tap the product into my brush. I don't tap it off like that. I like it to go into the brush so that as I'm working the brush around my crease area, it's depositing that color, but slowly. So I'm not just going in and I like splatting it on there. It just kind of diffuses it slowly. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm gonna try to make sure I stay in frame here. So first thing I do is I try to place the color where I want it. I do go slightly above my crease, and I also put the crease shade onto the lid as well. I'm looking to do a little bit of a gradient here. As I take what is left, after I deposit the bulk on the outer part, I also go into the inner part of my eye, but I stick a little bit more within my natural crease. So what I'm trying to do is create a little bit of a lifted, almost like cat eye effect. I've said this before, I don't like winged liner on me at all. I think it looks silly. And it's so hard to get the lines completely even. And if something isn't like perfectly placed, it just drives me nuts all day. I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to a lot of things. And if I can't do the perfect winged liner, then I'm not gonna do it. Okay. So I try to look into the mirror straight on because one, I did this eye like an hour ago. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm matching them up, but I think it also really helps when you have your natural resting face, because that's the bulk of what other people are gonna see. So you want it to look its best when you're just straight on. I'm just gonna dip into a little bit of the Best Friend shade, and concentrate that just on this very outer part on the lid. And then work the rest of it up. You don't need to like be aggressive and stab your brush into your crease, just lightly. You don't want the bristles to like spray out at all. You want them to maintain their shape, just kind of buff it back and forth lightly. Then I'm going to take that original brush that I laid down that skin colored shade with, and I'm going to go into a little bit of that Free Spirit again, which is what we started with, so tiny a bit. And I'm going to use that to help create a gradient. So this is going to buff out the outer part of that crease shade so that it's a smooth transition going up versus like color. Nothing. Does that make sense? So you just want to make it look really blended. Okay. Next, I am taking a brow line brush. Again, this is from Zoeva. I do really like these Zoeva brushes, by the way. And I'm going to go into the shade Bombshell, which is the darkest shade in that middle row. And what I'm going to do is use that as my eyeliner. And hopefully you'll be able to see this. Again, I try to keep my eyes as open as possible just so I can see exactly where I'm placing the liner and that I'm matching it up to the other side. Oh, sorry, my hand's in the way. I really like using powder as a liner because one, you can really diffuse it very nicely, and two, it's not as harsh. And I find that on my oily eyelids, it just lasts a lot longer than a pencil. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect at first because we are actually going to go in with our blending brush and just go into a little bit of the Bombshell, actually not Bombshell, the Best Friend shade. And we're going to pick up a little bit more of that. And we are going to blend out that liner just a little bit. Again, I'm just going for a very diffused, natural look here. I don't want anything harsh. Next, Zoeva again. I bought these Zoeva brushes, gosh, I think it was right after we moved into this house. So I think I've had these for a couple years. They're holding up really well, guys. I ordered these from the Zoeva website, but they sell some of the brushes at Ulta now. So I'll see if I can find these there, but if not, you can find these on the Zoeva website. So I am taking the shade Caregiver, which is the lightest shade in the middle row, and I'm placing that onto my lid, but only the inner like half of my lid. And I'm just gently like dabbing that on. I don't want it to look powdery at all. So one of the things that I like to do after placing that is just going back in with no extra product on the brush and making sure that there's a really nice seamless transition to the gradient from lightest to darkest on the outside. Can you guys see that? And that's it. So well, actually that's not it. I'm gonna take whatever is left on this liner brush, and I am going to do a little bit of liner on my lower lash line, but literally the tiniest amount. Don't add any onto the brush. just use whatever is left, and then go in with a clean Q-tip and smudge that ever so slightly. Now I'm gonna put on my mascara, but I'm not gonna do that on screen because that's painful for anybody to watch. So my mascara today is the CoverGirl Clump Crusher. I love this, it's amazing. I actually just opened it up, so there's that. I think I got a little fuzzy in my eye, but yeah. So I'm gonna finish my mascara and then take my thumbnail picture and upload this video. So I hope that you guys enjoyed. Again, if you have the Tarte Tartelette palette, get it out. It really is a fantastic palette. I find the quality of this one far superior to a lot of the limited edition stuff that Tarte puts out. So if you still have this one in your collection, definitely take another look at it. I thought it would be kind of fun to use a palette that is older and that maybe a lot of you still actually have in your hands, instead of suggesting something new to go out and buy. So anyway, let me know if you try this look. Let me know how it turns out for you. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.